grateful to be here. It's fun to be back in this space, and super proud of the team we have and the journey that we've had to get here. Going through the MPSF was tough and a big challenge throughout the year, and I think our team has shown tons of progress throughout the year. So it's been really neat to see kind of us play at our best at the end of the year.
Great. We'll open it up for questions.
Coach Vanelip's here from Off the Block. Before we get into questions, just housekeeping. I'm asking all teams when I remember.
Yeah.
Any injury updates on any players from the conference finals, or any lineup changes since conference finals?
We'll see. We got one more practice today, so we got to get to tomorrow before we kind of know what the lineup's going to be. But yeah, we've had James Eady was coming off an injury, was one of our key players, an All-American for us, and so hopefully he'll be kind of in the mix as we go this weekend.
And then question for the players, with this being your first time here in the NCAA tournament, looking at this, what has been kind of some of the big advice that you've received on how to handle kind of the NCAA tournament? Any tips that you've received from either former alumni or former players who have been in this experience?
I think the biggest thing is just taking it one game at a time, and then once we get into game one set at a time. I think a lot of people get lost in the fact that we all want to win this tournament, and it's a dream of all of ours, but the more you look at the big picture, the more you just get distracted at the task at hand. So I think the biggest thing that we're all communicating to each other is just focusing on one game at a time and just building from there.
Yeah, I think just being present in the moment. We all agree it's super awesome to be here, and we are super grateful to be here, but we're also here to win. So we're just keeping our eyes on the prize and just staying hungry.
Cole, I want to ask you, because you've just been putting up insane offensive numbers this season. What for you do you feel has been your biggest growth and improvement as a player since coming to Pepperdine?
I'd say just the mental aspect of the game. Improvement comes when you get a new opportunity with new coaches, new training, stuff like that. But I'd say really just the mental aspect of leaning on my teammates, trusting my training, and trusting the time that we all put in together.
And Coach, I asked, you see all three players here with you, they've all put up big numbers. When you were recruiting them, whether it was in high school or through the portal, did you think that, hey, I know that these guys can have this type of success that they've been having?
You always hope it, otherwise you're not recruiting the right people. But certainly there was a belief that they could do that, and Ryan's been developed over the years. He didn't start that way. Didn't start out as a first-team All-American, but yeah, just with Ryan, there's been tremendous progress over the last couple of years, and in particular this season. And then with these guys, I think we always knew it was there, and yeah, that was what we believed with Jacob for sure, and then with Cole, we knew he was going to make a big impact right away, and that was known, and it's been even better than expected.
Question for either coach or any of the players. Played Loyola early in the season. No, a lot has changed since then, but in that match, Loyola hit about 400. What are you all going to have to do to try to not have Loyola hit 400 in this upcoming match?
Yeah, maybe I'll start, and then you guys can chime in, but we just kind of watched some film. I think for me, we've got to play pretty gritty volleyball and scrap, and that was what we did well this last weekend. And so with some lineup switches that we had, Eli Haver was a great defender for us this past weekend. So I think in general, being able to dig a lot of balls, play hard on defense, dig a lot, and just kind of make things uncomfortable for them, because they're a very, very good team, a very good side-out team, lots of players that are quite talented at all the different positions. So, you guys?
Yeah, I think just going off of that, leaning into what we're good at, and we've found this past week that we're a really gritty team. We like to dig balls, and that not only brings us points, but a lot of energy as well, and I think that's where we thrive. So just leaning into what we're good at.
Ryan, you've been a very consistent offensive performer all season, but this past week with the MPSF tournament, you've really put your name out there. Where does that come from? What has really motivated you this season to be the first-team All-American that you are right now?
I think it starts at the beginning of the year, our foundation. I think I always remember the beginning of the year, we all got annoyed at the coaches because they didn't let us jump for the first 3 weeks. And at the time, we didn't know why, but now we know. And I think with the strong foundation that they built for not only me but everyone here, I was able to just kind of flourish in that type of environment.
Coach, you're coming off a MPSF Coach of the Year. What has been so special about this team that has made it so easy to succeed this year?
I think that it's truly just a really enjoyable group to be around. And I would say the coaching staff that we have is fantastic. So with Luke Reynolds and Will Kraft and Matt Pollock, like they're fantastic coaches. And I think there's a feeling that I have, at least, that we're all in this thing together with players and with our coaching staff, and everybody contributes in lots of different ways. And so everybody, I think we've had so many people contribute. We've had almost like 15 different people start throughout the season. There's been so many personnel changes and lineup adjustments, but everybody's continued to battle and just keep getting better and keep going. And I think it's a testament to the quality of coaches and the investment of the players to just stay focused on each day and going one day at a time.
Jacob, I want to ask you, you kind of look at a year ago, had some options, chose Pepperdine. What was it about Pepperdine and Coach that made you want to come to Malibu?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the program is super historic, and I feel like right as I stepped on campus, I kind of knew that it was like the place that I should go, because I mean, it just felt like a home, and all the coaches were super genuine and like really invested in my development as a player, and like not only as a player but just like as a whole person. And obviously it's also a really good academic school, so I think that was also a very important factor.
And Coach, I want to ask you, kind of looking at your team, Jacob mentioned the academics, you know, we saw the pictures of players graduating and then, you know, playing matches. What does that mean for you as a coach, not only that your players are succeeding on the court, but also off the court in the classroom?
Yeah, I think it's a big part of men's volleyball traditionally, and certainly at our school. It matters to us. It's a big part of the conversation that we always have in the recruiting process and throughout, is just being really good on the court and off the court. I think at Pepperdine in particular, both matter, and both matter equally. Like I told them just like an hour ago, so it's on my mind, that the group our team got a 3.7 GPA this last semester, and it's like at Pepperdine to do that in general is ridiculous. Doing it in season, traveling, all the things, like what these guys have been able to do has been so impressive on the court and off the court. And so it's for sure a huge point of pride of mine and our universities is what they've been able to do this year.
And then question for any of the players, you know, you're up here talking to us today. It takes a lot of players to have this much success. Who is someone who we in the media haven't been talking about, having been given love to, but we should be because of the job they've been doing this year?
I don't think he's got enough. He holds up the slack with passing for sure. And no, come on. He's really good. He needs more credit.
Yeah, I think it was tough. He got injured pretty badly at the beginning of the year, but Cole Rassick, he's a fifth-year senior, and he is kind of, it's funny, stepped into like a player-coach area, and he's always kind of with us during the hard times and good times, and he's just a locker room guy and that glue guy that every team wants to have. And I think we're all super blessed that he's there. He's always there to crack a joke, but then he gets serious, and he actually has some great knowledge to give. So yeah.
And then Coach, for you, this is your first, you've been in the NCAA tournament before as a player, but first as a head coach. I'm just wondering, did you get any advice from Marv or David or any coaches who you look up to, kind of how to handle this situation as a head coach?
Oh, really? I think the path always prepares you for what it is at this point in time. And you know, I've been fortunate to be here on the women's side as well when I was at Washington, and so just I've had lots of great coaches like Keegan Cook, who's at Minnesota now, that I was able to work with, and Leslie Gabriel, who's at Washington now too. And so I think for me, I've been fortunate to coach men's volleyball, women's indoor, and women's beach volleyball. And so just the amount of like coaches and players over the years in, you know, conference environments and NCAA tournament environments has been really good. And of course, as a player, you get to go through it as well. And so yeah, it's constant day-to-day conversations that prepare you, I think, for these things.
And then Then I wanted to ask just kind of broad picture looking beyond the game. Obviously, there was big news last week within your conference about Grand Canyon. I just wanted to get your thoughts, your reaction to Grand Canyon opting to end their program.
Yeah, it's terrible for one. There's not really an easy way to say it. I think it's really disappointing because I think there's a general thought in men's volleyball that program could be elite and had very good success in a short amount of time. But with the state of Arizona has a tremendous boys volleyball at the club level and the high school level. The quality of talent, the amount of programs, the amount of boys that are playing, the club systems they already have. So they have this great infrastructure. And so it's really disappointing that a administration wouldn't kind of see the opportunity there. So it is a huge bummer for our sport. I hope it's a little bit of a wake-up call, but just we've got to be more organized as a sport to not let this stuff happen and to fan the flame of the great grassroots and different programs that we have across the country. And we need to be better there.
All right, and for the players, 2 lighter questions to end on. First and foremost, I want to ask you about your mascot, Willie the Wave. What position do you think Willie would be best at on a volleyball court?
You never thought about that one?
That's a great question.
I don't know, maybe middle blocker. He's a big dude, so it would be interesting to see him get in the middle there, but not sure.
I think it would also be a pretty good fit. I mean, you got like Malibu Roofing Company, so it's kind of already in the name, so I think middle blocker would be pretty fitting.
Yeah, I'll take it with them. Middle would be good.
All right, and then final question, this is for everyone. If you could pick one player all time, any era, but you need that player to get you an ace on one serve, who would be the player you go with?
I'll go Brendan Reed.
Yeah.
He's currently on our team. He's the best serving expert I've ever seen come off the bench.
I was gonna go Aiden Toon, also another one of our serving subs.
I'll go with him. We love a good float serve for the win, so yeah, I'll go with him back in the day.
Honestly, give me Gabe. He's been getting so many aces in the tournament. I loopy float. That's a good one.
Cole, I'm going to circle back to something that you said. There's been a trend this season, or especially recently with all the awards coming out, that liberos haven't been respected. Why do you think that's a trend, and what do we need to give liberos more love?
Yeah, I mean, hitters hit, and that's what people watch, especially if you don't know the sport that much. Like, people that know the sport know that Jacob's an amazing player, and all the other libs are amazing too, but I think there's just not. Well, I mean, it's also a growing sport, so there's a lack of knowledge in general. But just like people want to watch the flashy things and don't notice all the other great things that happen around it.
And then Cole, again, you're facing off against Parker Van Buren, another amazing right side. New age versus the old guard. What are your expectations tonight?
I mean, I don't have a ton of expectations. I know walking into the game, I trust what we've been doing as a team. And that we've prepared well for this, and I know that whatever happens is on our side of the net, and we're in control.